Pressure coming. Garoppolo hit as he throws. A wobbler down the sideline, and it's caught! Deebo Samuel with the catch and trying to turn on the Jets. He'll take it all the way.
What's up, what's up, what's up? My name's Notorious GAV, and welcome to Sports Bay, Shardall Sports Bay Area Talk. So today we'll be mainly talking about soccer, right? And I brought on a very special guest today. We met through the Cone phone because we've got a common love for the 49ers. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to the show, Daryl. What's going on, Alien Jazz Party? Yes, look at that bandana. Look at that, bro. Repping the San Francisco 49ers. We love it. Yes.
For Shardell.
Yes, it's for Shardell. Yes.
Is that a good intro?
Yeah, that intro was fire. Thank you very much, Jesse Naylor. He made that especially for Shardell. He did. That was fire. That is, you mean, thank you very much.
It was a good moment from the Lions, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, all the best moments from the Lions. Yeah, it was. That catch from Deebo. Yeah, that's something else. Yeah. Right, so, we'll leave the 49ers right here because we're going to come to them last, right? Well, not last, but later on. Right, yeah. So what I want to do first, Daryl, right, yeah, because this is a soccer chat, right? I want to talk about soccer. So explain to the people who's watching now at home who you are, what soccer team you support, and how you come to support that. Well, just tell us a little bit about yourself and the soccer team you support.
No problem. All right, I'm actually 53 years old. So I've been around football for a long time. I was born in Hammersmith, and my dad took me as a season ticket holder to QPR from the age of 6.
Let me stop there. Right, Hammersmith is in London.
Oh, yeah, Hammersmith's in London. Well, basically, it's where the club is. It's only a couple of. So if I was I'm born where the club is. So if I was I would be born in Santa Clara, outside the Levi Stadium. It's that close. So
you're a local fan, yeah.
And then basically, I swear, that year, we came runners up, Gavin. Runners up in the old Division 1. That's 1975 to 76. Guess who came first that year?
Liverpool.
Yes, they did. And
you know, we won everything.
Yeah, I mean, you had Kevin Keegan and all that. But I'll tell you what, if it was 3 points for a win instead of 2, we would have won.
No way.
Absolutely. Go look at it.
What year did they change the points from 2 points for a win to 3 points for a win? I can't remember. That was years ago, that was.
No. It was, I reckon it was probably in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
They carried on. But that season, we were unbeaten at home, the whole of home. Didn't lose a match. And then I was 6 and 7. Do you know what I mean? That was that.
Oh, yeah. Good memories there for you, bro. I mean, so yeah, right. So let's explain to the people now, right, about Queen's Park Rangers, the club, because there's a lot of people in the chat who don't know the club QPR, because that's what they call them. They call them QPR, right? So explain to them where it is, right, and give us a brief history of your club. Right, and give us a rundown of the league it's in. It's not in the English Premier League; it's in the Championship, which is the league below the Premiership. So you explain.
I mean, but basically, if I told you the whole thing, it bore the crap out of people. So I'm going to make it simplified, right? Yeah. Basically, it's in West London, right? London, to all you people in America, is very territorial, very much like New York City. We go by postcodes. They really are. If you're W10, you're W11, West London, a bit like, Brooklyn, Queens. And basically there's West London, East London, and there's such rivalry. And we are a club from West London. And the other well-known West London clubs are Chelsea, Fulham, and in recent years, Brentford. So there's only 4 West London. And then you go Arsenal and North London, Tottenham and North London, and you can go around the whole thing. So basically, we're a small club, 20,000 capacity. We punch above our weight, and we've beaten everybody. I mean, and you told me off air that Shardell was a Man United fan, right? That's what you said.
yeah.
Well, yes. we in the day went to Old Trafford and beat Man United 4-1 with when Fergie was manager as well. So we even beat you 3-2. That was one of my favourite games. We beat now. So we'll
come on to your favourite games now. We will. Do you mean? Yeah. So we sort of explain now who QPR are right here. They're in the Championship. How are they doing this season? How QPR?
Can I also say to the people that the Championship, even though it's the division below, is very, 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 very highly watched. Like, you can get really big attendances. And there's some big clubs that are still in the Championship. We as a country have a really good. Our second tier is pretty strong. I mean, our second tier is probably stronger than even the French first league, apart from Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I compare them MLS. No, the MLS I compare to the Championship.
Out of everybody in the MLS.
Yeah, that's why I compare it to the standards of football. I see, like, you know, I mean, it's not quite Premiership soccer, but it's just, I mean, it's like MLS soccer. The Championship is
as a division. It is almost not as the elite teams, but the other teams are strong than most of the other European leagues. Because you know, like the European leagues, the smaller clubs aren't that good. You know, even in Spain, isn't it? They just get killed, don't they? The smaller clubs.
Yeah, smaller teams. Yeah. There's only two teams in Spain, really, isn't it? We've got three.
Yeah.
I mean, the two Madrids in Barcelona, and then they might have teams.
The most famous player in recent years that's come from Queen's Park Rangers is Sterling. Because Liverpool bought Raheem Sterling for $1 million. When he was like 16 years old. And you know when you resold him, we got all the money. We got a big proportion of money for that.
You had a big sell-on clause. You had a big sell-on clause, and we sold Raheem Sterling for $50 million at the time, right? Which is an absolute steal for him, I think, because he's one of the best players in the world when he wants to be. You know what I mean? He is so in here. We see how fast he is.
But it's good for the area because he's from here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You know, same way as Steven Gerrard's good for the area, and in the same day as, you know, the people even who play NFL, if they make it, they're from the area or whatever. It's. I mean, you know, I don't want to say Aaron Rodgers, but that's good for like Northern California that they produce such an amazing quarterback, even though he's not on our team. Do you know what I mean? But it's good for the area that they're producing these people.
Because it's just an area of effect. It just ripples. Yeah. So when you've got a local player on the pitch as well, the fans get behind that player more as well, because it feels like they've got a voice on the pitch as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw a game. So what were they talking about players right here? Tell us who your favourite.
Gavin, do you think people honestly going to care about this at QPR?
Yeah, I do, brother. Because at the end of the day, I mean, they might know a lot about. I mean, like Liverpool, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona. But you're a real fan, you are, bro.
Yeah.
Do you mean you go to all the games? You go to the away games? This is what soccer, I mean, this is what grassroots football is all about, you are, bro.
I'll give you this. This is how much I'm a fan of QPR. It's the best player that we produced, called Eze, who now plays for Crystal Palace. We've got his signed autograph boot. And we, as a fan, we got to talk to Eze a lot. So we actually knew him as a personality. So in the game, he'd know who we are because we're always that. That's what QPR.
What was he like as a person? What was he like as a person when you met him?
He's fantastic because he's had so many knocks. He's just really, really cool. But not as that in a person. He inspires all the. I mean, thing about QPR, we've had players that have inspired kids to play. And we're very good like that. And we had a guy, I don't know if you remember Adel Taarabt. Do you remember him? Maybe not.
I remember Taarabt. Yeah, well, this is what I'm going to go on to now, right? You can tell us who some of your favourite Queen's Park Rangers players are, because these are players that maybe they might not have heard of. I've heard of a lot of them, but they might have, the viewers at home might not have. Do you mean? And then once we do that, we'll take a few questions and we'll go to the chat then.
What you do is what they do on the other pods is you have your favorite five-a-side football team,
Well, yeah, go on. And name your favourite five-a-side QPR team.
For future, that's good to do if you talk football. So,
yeah, I get you. That's a great idea. That's an absolute fantastic idea, Darryl. So name your five-a-side team from QPR of all time.
Goal, I would say at the time, because when I was really young, it was Phil Parkes in goal. But I would say this is going to surprise you because you probably didn't know he played for QPR, but he was a QPR player. Would be Seaman in goal. Did you know Seaman played for QPR? David Seaman.
Yeah, I know David Seaman. I didn't know he played for QPR. No, I didn't know that.
Well, David Seaman.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, so Seaman in goal. Then, as legends go, you'd have Alan MacDonald as a centre back. Do you know Alan MacDonald?
No, I don't even know who he is now. You need to explain who he is now. Yeah, give us a brief.
I mean, you would have a crazy up front. You would have Stanley Bowles and Les Ferdinand. Do you know them?
I know Les Ferdinand. Les Ferdinand is a god, like.
And then
big burly centre forward.
You would have Jerry Francis in the midfield.
I know Jerry Francis as well. Like, yeah, with the long frizzy, like yours.
So I've got how much? I got 2, 3. Is that 5 or 6 aside? I would have another defender. I think one of the greatest ones growing up was Paul Parker. He went on to play for
Paul Parker. Yeah. He went to play for Man United as well, didn't he? He played for Manchester United.
He played for England in the World Cup when we got.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, left back. When he was your left back or right back?
Well, no, for us he played centre back, but for England he was right back, and then for Man United he played right back. But he was tiny for a centre back, but God, he could jump. He could really jump high.
Yeah, he was physical. Yeah, he'd always get his foot on the ball as well. He's a good tackler.
Well, he did.
And
well,
he'd always be gunning down the wing. He'd be gunning down the wing all.
He got successful on that early Ferguson team. That was
right then. I've got a question by you from Bay Area Bowler, right?
Oh,
Eric. Show it by you. Right, the man, Bay Area Bowler, shout out Bowler, right? I have a question for novice soccer fans. Who are the top 5 goal scorers in the world right now? So who's the top 5 goal scorers for you, Darryl?
Well, if you took I don't want to say the obvious people because it gets boring. I mean, right now, can I just keep it to the Premiership, or do I have to do all the other leagues?
You can do whatever you want, bro. It's your show. You do what you want.
I forgot. I'd say obviously you would have to say like Ronaldo, even though we don't know, but he wasn't
signing for Manchester United. It's just come out of left field. That did. Who saw that come in?
Yeah, didn't he score loads last time? Anyway, for Juventus.
He scored in Europe in the week. He did, and he scored on the weekend. Do you mean United have to be contenders for the league this season? I hate to say it. As a Liverpool fan.
Who's that Norwegian guy? The Norwegian guy plays the German team. What's he called? He's really famous. He's excellent.
Not Odegaard, is he?
Oh God, I don't want to Google. This is why we're old and we forget things.
It's Odegaard, isn't it? Is it Odegaard?
No, his dad used to play for Man City. That guy, he's outstanding. Everybody wanted him. Sorry. Do you know what? This is happening to me a lot now.
Move on now, and next then.
I've got the face.
We'll come back to it.
But I'd say, obviously, to the question, I think Lukaku going to Chelsea is serious.
Lukaku, Ronaldo.
I mean, everyone now reckons that they're going to do it because of that. I mean, that could be the little bit that. So I say Lukaku. Obviously, Harry Kane is good, and I'm thinking. I don't know who's in Spain now. Who have they got? They must have somebody there. Spain. I mean, I can think of
Messi, bro. Messi.
Do you think? Oh, Mbappe. But does he?
Mbappe. Yeah. He plays Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah.
But I'd say, is there a sleeper that we don't know that is going to be?
I got one straight off the top of my head. Mohammed Salah.
Yeah. Oh, we love Mohammed Salah.
Do you know what I mean? He can't stop goals. He can't stop scoring goals. He can't, right? He broke a record this week.
He's absolutely amazing. But you know why I've gone dead? Do you know why I've gone dead? Because he's in my fantasy team as a midfielder.
He's a winger. He's like everybody scores a load of goals, right? He scored his 100th goal in the Premiership this week. He did, and he's the 6th fastest player to do it. He was to score 100 goals.
He's good.
Yeah, definitely. For a steal, we got him for a steal. We did we paid like 30 million for him.
I have to switch it on to you now to really, because you are the entertainer as well, right? And we ought to make this entertaining.
Well, but here's my fact. Right, he took goals for us. Right, I go. It's got to be Ronaldo. Right, Messi, Salah, Kane. Right, and then my last one, I want to say somebody like Jamie Vardy, right? Yeah, right. Jamie Vardy's having a party, right?
No, what I want to say to you, right, is really good, right? Is because these guys, they don't have songs, do they? Right? And
No.
You're a Liverpool fan, right? The Virgil van Dijk song is absolutely amazing, right?
The Mo Salah song.
No, the Van Dijk.
Neymar, I just want to shut up Neymar. Yeah.
No, the Van Dijk song is absolutely brilliant because because there's everyone knows that song. It's such a good song, and obviously the Pogues did it and everything. Do you know that? Do you know it?
Well, we can't sing it because of copyright. What's the copyright like? It's YouTube, bro. It's YouTube, bro. Right, no songs I like. Right, do you know the Andy Robertson song? Right, I can sing this because it's not copyrighted, right? Yeah, but he's got his own song. The left back, the Liverpool left back, has got his own song, right? There's what's it called like? Oh, Andy Robertson. Oh, Andy.
That's a standard song that a lot of players have got. The Van Dijk.
Yeah, but that's what they all sing for Andy Robertson. That is like
sing it.
What songs do you like, then? What chants do you like?
The Van Dijk song is an old traditional song. I don't think anyone owns the rights to it. Everyone sings
and Mo Salah got another one as well. He got a song.
I think you're right. I mean, I think the basic. We've got loads of songs.
So while we're talking about songs, right? Yeah, let's sort of like compare the NFL, right, crowds to EPL, right, English Premier League fans, right, and the chants and the difference between the chants and the songs, right, because you go to a Niners game, right, and that's all you get, right, is defense, right, and then you go to an EPL game, right, and you've got the fans there singing, and it's just going crazy, and it's completely different. Do you mean? So what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, my thoughts for that is why it's great is because we're territorial. We always have an away section, right? And when you're away, a part of being away is you take over. It's that sort of going back to when you're like Welsh tribesmen, you're taking over. So when you're there, you take over. And then all the fans are just united because they're all together in one box, and then they go absolutely insane, and you're generating it all from a particular part of the ground. And that's why some teams don't want the away fans behind the goal. They move you, so you're not having that impact. Problem with NFL, you can't have that because it's all mixed. Anyway, they need to have a section that is just pure fans anyway. No one other. You have to be a registered fan or a member to sit in that section, and that section should be the singing section, and nobody from another team can go there. Because if it was at QPR and we had some other people there, they get beaten up.
Yeah, it's the cop end.
They would literally get beaten up. Yeah, I mean they would go. Yeah, so they would have to change their way of the ground. And I don't see why they couldn't have I mean, if I'm looking at marketing the Niners, I don't see why they couldn't have a singing section, or even better, a community section. If not, people who live in the community or whatever, or have a bit where they let underprivileged children in, or people who have got, they can have a section. But when right, you stand up and you sing. Now at QPR, when we're away, everyone's standing up. No one's sitting down in the chairs or anything. Everyone's standing up through the whole game, right? So if you went to 49ers, they'd probably tell you to sit down, wouldn't they? Could you sit down, please? But if you had a section where you knew, oh, this is it, and that's why it's got nothing to do with the grounds. You could create it any grounds. All you need is
they could. No, not as a community, they need to come together and write some songs. Do you mean? But
no, but someone said this to me, and I don't know if this is true. That they need to. I don't know if this is true, and I don't know my NFL, right? Apparently, they need to concentrate or something, and they don't want songs when they're in offense. They only want songs when they're in defense. I don't know if that's true, but apparently they have to. Not that it doesn't help them when they're. And I mean, you have to ask Eric that, or someone, or you know.
Yeah, I'd love to get somebody like Eric on your talk.
Certainly with the defense, they could make noise, and certainly with the introduction, they could make noise, and also when there's timeouts, they could make noise, and they could definitely do a lot more. But I noticed in the Lions game, all left, didn't they? All the Lions fans left. Yeah, they left the ground. Even if they came back, they weren't there to see it.
Fans.
They just
where the fans.
So to be honest with you, at the end it was Niners fans, and they were the players. I forget who it is was trying to get the Niners fans going. It was more Niners fans at the end. Yeah, Niners fan. Yeah. So even if they did come back, the fans weren't even there. So I think don't know how. You know what I mean? There's a mentality of being there to the end. And I think that mentality is let's get out because it's the car park. Let's get out.
Let's get out of the traffic. Yeah, right. So anyway, let's talk about David Beckham, because Bailey Ebola brought him up in the chat, and I think I thought that's a perfect person, for us to chat about now, So what's your thoughts about David Beckham as a person and David Beckham as a player?
Well, I think I'll be honest with you. I think he branded himself very, very well. I mean, he's one of the best branded footballers ever. I mean, I think what's he sold? Even underwear? How much? What perfume? Underwear? What the stuff has he sold? I think the way he is with his charisma, how he is or whatever. He's certainly got that. Lady Di had it. I don't know what it is. When you're with the children, they love you and all that. And it's a certain charisma. Not everyone has it. He has it, and he's good at. Yeah. I think as a player, I think he's a good example that worked really, really hard at what he does. But as an all-round player, if you take everything of his whole game, I don't think he was particularly that good, but the things that he did was very, 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 very good. So it'd be like a pitcher who could throw a really good changeup or something, and that's what they did, but they didn't have it. I think his crosses were amazing. Yeah. I think his set piece balls were amazing. I mean, he saved us in that qualifier. Do you remember? Not that you're
against Greece.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's good at that.
I remember that.
I don't think
I remember the goal he scored against Greece.
He's not in the caliber of an all-time player. He's nowhere near it. I mean, he's not as a player because I think he wasn't that good personally, but I think he was good as a spokesman. I think he was good as a person, and I think he got the most out of his career. I mean, he didn't have a left foot. He was just one-footed.
No, he didn't have a left foot at all. I want to sort of agree with what you said. I want to sort of agree. But as he marketed himself, he put himself as an icon. He did, And always remember, anybody that any time that David Beckham's name is mentioned, always remember that David Beckham gave us the sarong, right? Never forget the sarong, And if you don't know what that is, Google it, guys. David Beckham sarong, I'll type it out in the chat for you now. I'll spell it out for you. It's absolutely awful. What's your thoughts on the sarong?
I'll go back to where I live. There's only two people in my life that have shut down the whole of Portobello Road, right? Where I live is Portobello Road, Notting Hill, London. One was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton decided to come to Portobello Road and have a pint. And it was insane. All the roads, everyone's going mad. There's helicopters in the air. It was insane. And the other time, because David Beckham used to live around here, he decided to go to one of the theatres. And again, he just closed the whole road. Yeah. So these people are massive.
He's one of those people that's transcended sport. He's sort of transcended sport. Like
what they do is like present. And I couldn't think of any present 49er or old 49er would be able to do that in my neighborhood, be able to shut everything down. To be honest with you, they could walk around. I mean, if Kittle walked around here, no one would know who
Jerry Rice could walk around London and hardly anybody would recognize him.
The only person who couldn't is Rodgers. Everyone knows who Rodgers is.
It's the same as it's the same as Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard could go to San Francisco and nobody would know who he is over there. But he'd get mugged over here. He would, like. Do you mean? So, that's actually a great chat. That was really, Right, so tell us about some of your favourite QPR moments, because I want to go back to QPR. I do right in the end. Right, so tell us about some of your favourite games and moments.
I mean, my favourite game obviously was when Bobby Samora scored the goal and we won the playoffs and got promoted to the Premiership, which was quite recently. That was incredible, and we were terrible that game, and we brought 40,000 fans to Wembley and we scored right at the end and we were man down. Second, when I was really, really young, because you remember when we were young, like how big the FA Cup was. It's not big now. QPR got into we played the semi-final with West Bromwich Albion and we beat them 1-0. And I was at that game and we made it to the FA Cup final. That was just incredible. And the FA Cup final was all right, but obviously we lost the other one. But I mean, those two games were very, very memorable. I mean, I've had little ones. The only team we'd never beaten was Notts Forest. And I went away. And in our whole history, we've beaten everybody else apart from Notts Forest. And when we beat Notts Forest a couple of years ago, it was like we won the Champions League. It's like really
people going nuts.
Like, we beat you. And it was really insane. But it was just special because it was like that's the only team that we've never beaten away. We've even beaten Liverpool away. We've beaten everybody away apart from Notts Forest. Now that was a good game. I think recent years beating you 3-2. That was just when Mackie scored that goal. That was absolutely amazing. Beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. That was really amazing because we always tell the fans to piss off back to Surrey. There we go. Piss off. Yeah, God, I piss off back to Surrey, and they're all like,
yes, we love it. We love it.
Because they were on Channel 5, and we kept on like teasing them, like chanting they're on Channel 5. The Champions League, you're on Channel 5, like Channel 5. And just the chants are really bad. But do you know what happened in that game? It was 0-0.
No, it's dying if you're on Channel 5. You're not doing well if you're on Channel 5.
And they had a promoter guy in half time, and all he did was piss off the QPR fans. He said, well, we've won all these trophies. How many trophies have QPR won? And stuff like that. And then when they came out, the fans were just absolutely insane. We basically beat them and they were crying and stuff. It was brilliant. I think that's the first time they lost at home. They were just absolutely amazing. I mean, that was an amazing moment. Beat Chelsea. I don't think we're ever going to again.
Tell us a bit about the Man City game, right? Yeah, because this is a bit of an infamous game. This is right. So let me set it up a little bit, right? Yeah, and then you could tell us what it was actually, because you was at the game, right?
No, I wasn't at the game. No, I wasn't at the game. We all watched it. We watched.
So what happened was, right? All the way through the season, now it was Manchester United and Manchester City head to head, right? Now, Manchester United have only been good the last 30 years, right? Whereas Man City have only been good the last 10, right? If that, right? Since they've been bought over by Arab owners, right? And it was head to head all season, right? Now, Manchester United had to play. I can't remember who they had to play right here.
It was somebody really random.
Manchester City, something like that, wasn't it? Yeah. Right. Manchester City had to play QPR on the Queen's Park Rangers on the last day of the season, right? So take it from there, Daryl, and tell us exactly what happened.
What, the whole match, or just
just give a giant general overall about what happened, like, because it's infamous. This game is.
Well, basically, I mean, our cut short is that we ended up being 2-1 up at the side, but James Barton got sent off for headbutting. Do you remember that? That's insane. Remember that? Well, the headbutts. Yeah. So basically, Mackie scored, and then it was 2-1 up, and I don't know exactly how much time they had left. It wasn't much, was it?
No. It was injury time. It was injury time.
Yeah, so they got 2 quick goals, and it's right for them to win. At the time of the Manchester United's game had finished, they were champions, right?
They were champions. It was injury time to play in the City QPR game. Yeah,
we were in stoppage time, and it was 2-2, and then Man City, during stoppage time, all the QPR fans and all the people knew we had another team that had to not win for us to go. Well, we knew we were safe. Mathematically, we were safe, even if we lost. So we all went up to cheer, like all the fans did, and everyone knew we were safe. One half of the pitch knew we were safe, the other half didn't. So when they scored right at the end of Aguero, half of the team thought we'd been relegated, but then the others just said, "Don't worry, man, we're safe." So then basically, even though we lost the game 3-2, it was the biggest celebration ever, because Man City and QPR fans both celebrated together. And there's a special bond between the two in a funny way for that, because we gave them that moment. And it's,
Man City love QPR. City fans love Queen's Park Rangers. They do, right? Because what happened was, because QPR secured their survival, their Premiership survival, and Manchester City winning meant that they finished 1 point clear of Manchester United, their biggest rivals, and they won the Premiership that year. And it was massive.
I mean, it was an amazing. I mean, I don't think it's very hard to actually sport. I think it's probably one of the biggest sporting things, isn't it? I mean, like,
from recent memories, it's definitely one of the biggest Premiership moments. It was definitely.
And the other thing, Gavin, is a lot of those players did act. I mean, we had players who weren't very good, but they used to play for City. Like we had Sean Wright-Phillips, Neda Renua, and stuff like that. So they at the end, they all came in the same dressing room. The actual players celebrated with the City players. So it wasn't
it's all about coming together and stopping Man United from winning the league. That's what it's all about.
Some say they let them do it as well. There's like a
I hope they did. If they did, right? I hope we all give them a pay rise the season after. They all got a big pay rise.
I don't know.
Yes.
It was crazy.
I do, 100%. As long, and I don't care who wins the league, as long as it's not Manchester United.
One of my mates is in a band called David Cronenberg's Wife, and he's had like 4 albums and stuff. He's really good underground music. He's a massive Man City fan, so we always talk about Man City and QPR. And he said our clubs will be connected because of that moment. Yeah. You know, because there's a massive moment, because they always show it as well, don't they?
Yeah,
you know,
they do. Yeah, it's the commentary as well. The commentary is iconic, because the commentator, they go Aguero. It seems like it goes on forever.
But do you think anyone's going to care about this or not? About
I care about it, so that's what matters. Right, Darren, let's talk a little bit about Liverpool, right? Yeah, because that's my team. Right? We'll talk about QPR now, right? Yeah. So let's talk about my team, right? Yeah. So currently, right? Yeah, I think we're doing okay, right? Yeah, we're unbeaten in the league so far, right? We're not looking as good as what we were 2 seasons ago, but I still wouldn't write this off yet because it's Klopp. But I don't know. It's just I see the other teams improving around us, right? Arsenal spent how much this season?
Terrible.
Oh,
right now, Arsenal.
United bought. They got Ronaldo. They got Jadon Sancho. They spent a lot of money on him. Manchester City. They bought Varane as well, which is a big plus for them. Varane is because that's where they were lacking last season. United. They've shored up their defense. They have. Right, and I see City. I mean, they always got money to spend. They've always got money to spend. But we didn't spend nothing in the off season. We bought Kunati for about 12 million, right, and that's it, right. But Klopp seems to think we're all okay, right. I don't know, right.
We've got a tight squad, that's why.
Yeah, we have got a tight squad, and it's the mentality as well, right. Yeah, because the manager, right. Yeah, Klopp. He's a great manager, he is, right? And have we heard about him playing heavy metal into the dressing rooms before the games to kick off? Have we heard about this?
I don't know. I reckon his music taste would be absolutely crap.
Well, he did it in is it Borussia Dortmund he was at in Germany? He used to do it with them.
Yeah, they're into their metal, aren't they? It's what Scorpions like that.
Yeah, right. And he blasts the heavy metal into the dressing room, does to gear the players up, right? So they're fired up before they even go on the pitch, right? Okay, and I love how Klopp.
This is what I say, right? This is what I say. Okay, when you win a Premiership, the fact that you've won it before gives you the experience, right? So you know how to get over the line, and that's with any of this stuff. Like even with the NFL.
We won the Premiership because we won so many games, and then COVID come in and it just shut the season down. It did, and then when we come back from the break, we was terrible. Do you mean we crawled over the line?
Can I just say to you, right? I think once you've won the Premiership, it gives you the experience of getting over the line, which is the same in the NFL, right? If I was in the Championship, I'd like to know anybody who's won the Super Bowl, because that would really help, because they can tell the people what it's like from experience, right? So you have the experience. The only thing I can say for you is that if your key players get injured, you've had it. That's it. So your success is very much down to your players not getting injured.
Well, last season we had Van Dijk out, weren't it? All season, you had like an ACL at the beginning of the season. It was terrible. It was, and our defense were the same after. Yeah. And
I think especially when you get your wing backs working, when you get the Robinson and Trent Arnold working, then you got that really good. But I think, for instance, if like Mo got injured, I would really, I don't think like the Jota and the other, I don't think they're up to it as much. You really need your key players. Now, if he goes not injured and you keep it going, there's no reason why you cannot.
We've had him 4 seasons. I can't remember him missing a game, Salah. I can't.
No, I know he did. Remember in the Champions League when
Oh yeah, but that was the final. That was awful.
That was terrible, and that he
Sergio Ramos.
He took a while to recover from that. That was horrible.
It was terrible. He grabbed his arm, didn't he, and fell onto his arm. He did, and with all his weight, you could see how he did it. He trapped his arm into him and fell onto it. There was no way Salah was getting like that.
Like dirty. But I think
as soon as he went off, that was the game over. There was game over. That was in the Champions League final. As soon as he went off,
you got home advantage because your fans are good, right?
Yeah. Well, no fans are back. Yeah. Hopefully that'll make a difference.
And the thing that I can say about Chelsea as well is it is harder to play the London derbies. They have to play a lot more London derbies. So you might be sort of laughing, you might be thinking, oh yeah, Brentford or whatever. But when Brentford play Chelsea, that is their match. All their fans are going to be massively. That's going to be a really hard match for Chelsea.
London rivalry,
they're just going to go nuts. And I think you've got Man United, and that's a big one. But I think you can go. You haven't. I mean, that's the only thing I can say about why Chelsea are not going to win it is because they have to play tough London derbies that could end up hurting them. But I mean, right now they look unstoppable, don't they? What do you think?
Yeah, Chelsea. Yeah, they are. Do you mean like you said, Lukaku's a massive signing for them. Lukaku is. I think. Who's the centre back they got as well? He's really old. Is it Thiago? No.
No, I know who you mean. That Brazilian guy, isn't it?
Yeah, Thiago Silva. It is. Thiago Silva.
I can't. Oh my God, I can't remember anyone's names.
Well, yeah, and I think the manager as well, the new manager, because Lampard, they sacked Lampard, didn't they? And then they brought in.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
I mean, I think to be honest with you, when you win the Champions League, you tend to do well.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, don't you? Look,
that's what catapulted us. Do you mean?
Yeah,
the season we won the Premiership was after the year we won the Champions League.
I would say they're favourite, and not that I want them to do it. And then I would say, I think it's how the others make. And I can say, because this is Shardell's channel, I do not think Man United are not going to win it. I can't see it.
I don't know. You can't rule them out. You can't rule them out. Yeah. Like with Ronaldo on the team, Ronaldo's going to score 20 goals.
No, it's the manager. Right? Manager.
Yeah, well, Ollie's
manager.
I don't believe in Ollie either.
He's not a good manager. I mean, he's a good. He reminds me of Southgate. He's like really good, says the right things, beautiful man, lovely guy, politically correct, spokesman, diplomat.
Yeah.
But when you need the game, where you need a manager, you need that manager to get you past it. It's not him or Southgate. Well, I mean, and in that sort of situation, he's going to come.
If we look at the managers of the other teams around him, they've all won. They've all got silverware. They have. So
yeah, but when it gets to the final, it's the managers. I mean, literally, if Mancini was manager of England and Southgate was manager of Italy, we would have won.
The Chelsea manager won the Champions League last season.
Yep.
You mean for them? Do you mean you got him to the final?
He's a good manager.
He's
a good manager.
I think Chelsea could win it.
He's a good manager, and he's going to do it. It's like definitely.
But so there's some questions in the chat by you. We have right, Pino, right? Shout out Pino, right? Yeah, thank you very much for joining the chat. Is the MLS the worst league in the world? Right, I can answer this now. It's not. No, it's nowhere near. Have you seen the Welsh league? Right, we've got teams like what are they called? Merthyr Martyrs. The Merthyr Martyrs. We got it's awful. The Welsh league is. Do you mean all our best Welsh players play in the English leagues? Do you mean they get away from the Welsh teams? Do you mean as quick as they can? Do you mean so? No, definitely not. The MLS is definitely not.
I think over the years, the Americans as a country have really produced good goalkeepers. I mean, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got some excellent goalkeepers, and I think that.
Tim Howard. The Wall. That's what they called him in Everton, wasn't it? Tim Howard, the Wall. Do you mean that's what they called him? Yeah. The Wall. Name the Wall. What's your thoughts on Christian Pulisic?
Well, I mean, he needs to play more games, doesn't he? I mean, you've got to be a starter and stay there. He obviously has starter mentality. But you need to develop. I mean, he's obviously at a higher standard, but I mean, it's a hard one being in one of those teams that you have heavy rotation. That's what's good about your Liverpool is they don't do so much heavy rotation. It's very difficult if you're a player and you've got heavy rotation because then it's difficult. And I mean, it's difficult because I think you need it's the same as the NFL. You need game time under you. You need that knowing that you're there. But I mean,
the problem Pulisic has got is the players ahead of him are just world class. You've got like Kai Havertz, the Hudson-Odoi who's super young. I know he's not world class.
It's difficult. I think he's in the right area. What the problem with the Major League football is I haven't really watched it, so I cannot really be honest.
I watched a little bit of it, but it's sort of like what they say about the MLS is where the old players go to retire. You know, do you mean? Robbie Keane is an MLS legend.
But I can say this in general with Americans is they tend to be very athletic, very good coordination, and they look after their bodies and they tend to be very, very strong. And from what I hear, Because my son's playing college football out in America. It's really physical. It's very physical, and it's not so much finesse and skill. You've got to be big, and I think they have that mentality. Even the NFL, whatever, they bring it to the football. So you're big, you're strong. So I mean, it's a league where they bless you for speed, physicality, and stuff like that. You're not going to have the technical time on the ball that you would in, let's say, if you played in Spain. So they're producing very strong people. But I think they're going to do really well if they can get it together. Because I think
Leeds United have a good American player. Don't Leeds United have a good American player? There's an American player in the league.
Yeah, there's a few, but I think they're like ranked number 11 in the world right now. They're really high up.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see America go in the World Cup. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see them win it all. Just let them have it.
I mean, I think in general, right, Americans in general, when they grow up, they tend to be quite all-rounded in sport. Like, for instance, a lot of them can throw. They're good throwers. Yeah. They can do other things because they've had a go at whether it be football or if it be baseball or to throw something. And I think in generally they have a lot of sports and they're very athletic. What they probably don't have is these guys in an environment where they can really do well, which would be away. But I mean, if you take the sport tennis, right? I've never seen a men's tennis player who couldn't serve. All of them serve really, really well.
Oh,
that's because it's that whole mentality of doing that all the time.
Roddick had a hell of a serve on him.
You could have a guy in...
He's all up a body with Americans, isn't it? With us Brits, it's all legs and running and fitness and endurance.
Right, and that's why I think they have good goalkeepers and stuff like that. It's just, I think if they wanted to do something, they could. They just don't want to do it. I think they could... I think they could do well at cricket and win the T20 if they wanted to.
They probably could have a good cricket team as well. Because there's a lot of I don't want to go too far, but there's a lot of Indians in America as well, and they like their cricket as well, don't they? So I bet you they could put a team together if they wanted to.
Okay, all right. You because of the Wales are unbelievably good at rugby. What do you think if they got their shit together, right, and said, right? If someone said, right, in 8 years' time, we're going to win the World Cup in rugby, they would do it if they really wanted to.
Well, we've been to the World Cup final couple times. Huh? Right, we got a question. We got a statement in the chat from Christopher Argyris. I hope I didn't butcher your last name. I predict my Newcastle will lose to Leeds tomorrow night 2-1. Ooh. I don't know what's your thoughts on that.
You know what? Did you know something? And I even said this to you, didn't I, when we talked? I said my two predictions before a ball was kicked, and you won't like this, Christopher. I said that. Well, I said that they get relegated. I said Newcastle might get relegated, and it's not. It's. It's a shambles. It's a shambles. I really like Newcastle. They got this they got a manager that is a Geordie that wants to be there, right? Who's going to bloody be their manager if he leaves? No one's going to be their manager. They got a horrible owner. They got Willock, which was good. I like Willock because his brother plays for Qpr as well, so I'm really into Willock. But I think. I hope I'm wrong because it's a wonderful club, but I just feel that Ashley guy is they all hate Ashley.
Mike Ashley, yeah. Well, I was gonna mention him. I was like the fans absolutely hate him. I compared Jed York. I compared Jed York to Mike Ashley. I done it on the comb phone as well. I did. I called in and I said, do you mean Jed York is Mike Ashley?
Wait there. Is Jed York that bad?
Let's ask Chris. Let's see what Chris got to say. What's your thoughts on Mike Ashley as an owner? Do you know what I mean? But they could get relegated. I do sort of agree with it. But they spent a lot of money on their team.
Didn't I say that to you? There's no bullshit. I said that before a ball was getting, and I also said that Norwich would stay up, and I'll take that back. Norwich are getting relegated.
Yeah.
But I thought they would stay up for the Championship. You know, what a joke. You get up, you win the championship, you get relegated. I mean, Norwich is just, I know, and they've had their manager for 3 years as well.
Yeah, they got relegated with him and kept him. Now, that's rare. That is very rare.
I mean, I told you that we don't want to go up. We just want the champion. We want to win the championship, have an open bus all over West London, Hammersmith, Shepherd's Bush, go freaking crazy, and then stay in the championship. We don't want to go up. We take them. We don't. Why?
Why would we take the championship trophy?
You know how good Norwich were last season. Norwich are a good team. Look at them now in the Premiership.
Yeah. And they're struggling. They're struggling now. Yeah. It's the money, though. They're coming up and they're not spending any money. The difference is Newcastle has spent a lot of money. They bought that Saint-Maximin. They bought who's that big centre forward that don't score for them as well. Like,
they
Andy Carroll was there.
No, Newcastle haven't bought. What
they've
can
spent,
I say?
No, over the last couple of seasons, they've spent about 60, 70 million.
Yeah.
Do you mean if we look back on a few of the signings, and they just, apart from Saint-Maximin, they're not really performing. Do you mean? So if they do get relegated, it's a big squad to go down.
All right. Okay. Who do you think will get relegated?
Norwich.
Poor old Norwich.
It's got to be in it, like, I mean.
Bloody Norwich fans, come on.
I don't know. I'll have to. Net spend not that much. All right then, okay. Because he does sell a lot of his players as well, doesn't he? Doing Mike Ashley, he's the one who buys everyone and sells everyone.
Bruce, they haven't got that. They haven't got that marquee player that everyone's going to go absolutely nuts for, which they have had in the past. You know,
no, they haven't.
And they have got these players, but apparently, instead of buying players, he just keeps them on contracts, and he keeps. So they got a lot of players that have been there, like people like Guy Ritchie or something like that. He shouldn't be there. Whatever, they got players like that should be gone. I mean, if he came in and bought a marquee player, everyone would go nuts. You know, the same way as like Everton. You know, Everton and other, you know, they bring in a player, you go, oh, this is great. But I like Willock. He's a good player and everything. But he's not a massive marquee player that's going to do it.
He did well from last season, though. Willock did do well from last season, so I sort of see why they spent that money. But Mike Ashley, he's like a money baller. Either buy the players low and then sell them as soon as they start playing well and other teams start looking into them. They're selling club.
It's going to backfire. That's my point.
It will. That's what we got relegated last time.
What's the most important thing about Newcastle United is the fans. And the fans,
they're fanatical.
The fans are already turning on Bruce, who's a Geordie, right? Who is going to go there? Who's going to go there?
They say playing for Newcastle United is like playing in a goldfish bowl. Do you mean it's that bad? It's that bad. Like, to the people listening, they get 50,000 a game. Yeah, 50, and they can get relegated and go to the Championship, the league below the Premiership, and still sell out every single game 55,000. Crazy! It's absolutely crazy.
If it's any luck to Christopher, I was at the game when Newcastle beat us 6-0 at home. That was terrible.
But then, so we got a question in the chat.
Who's that guy? That guy. Oh, you know that guy used to play for England. My name's. You know, he's got a bald head and he plays in the midfield and he just kicks the ball around. Oh, what's he called? Oh, he was outstanding. I can't remember anything. I can't blame it all.
But so we've got a question in the chat of Ryan. So I want to quickly dive into it, right? Because we've got about 5-10 minutes left of the show. Right. So I want to quickly dive into this and we'll talk a little bit about international soccer as well. Like, if you want to talk about that as well, don't you? Right. So who would be in your fantasy soccer fantasy team? Do you do fantasy football?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Right then, so tell us a bit about, because you're doing well in your league, apparently, aren't you? You're a fantasy football genius.
I'm doing well, but my whole fantasy was, because you got a price restriction, so you can't just buy.
Well, explain how fantasy football works to people who don't know that.
Okay, basically you got a goalkeeper, and you get
you have a budget, don't you? You have a budget.
Yeah, you get points for clean sheets and stuff like that. Then you got defenders, and then you got midfield and forwards, and you got subs. You got 4 subs, And I based my fantasy team was doing really well. And I put it on Son. He was in it, and Mo Salah. But Son got injured. And so I've been like messing it and moving around. I would say to the fantasy team, I'd say stick to someone really good. I mean, my player is, funny enough, it is Mo Salah. He has to play well. He's my captain. So he
scores every week, so it's a good choice.
So yeah, so if you're doing it now, you know, you would think in the past, Harry Kane was good. Maybe Ronaldo would be good. I mean, sleepers in fantasy. I'm thinking of people who you would pick that don't do well. There's a guy for Crystal Palace called McCarthy, and he's really cheap. I think he's on loan from Chelsea. I think he's gonna be a really good player because I mean, he's very cheap. I think if you're going for defense, I would go for a 3, and I would definitely get people, if you can afford it, get people like Trent Arnold because he gets lots of assists.
So the formation you're suggesting to play is a 3-4-3.
No, I tend to play a 3-5-2. Yeah, 3-5-2. But my forward's bad now. I haven't got any. I've got Richarlison. Is really bad. He's not doing well. And I got Tony. I thought he was going to do really well. There you go. There's my championship rubbish. I watched Tony at Brentford banging them in. I thought, oh, Tony's going to be really good. And he's absolutely been terrible. So I based it on Tony, and he's you know who he is, Tony. Yeah?
I know a good sleeper right now, Danny Ings. But last season maybe, but this season,
Danny Ings is always good. Always good to have. And the guy from
always, he's going to be cheapish, and he's going to get you goals every week.
Wait, who's he got in his team? He could help me.
He's Aston Villa now. He's with Aston Villa, isn't he?
Oh right.
So, but he's not really that scoring this season. But we'll see. But so anyway. So should we talk now, Rodney, about international stuff?
Shoreditch. He's in Shoreditch. Tell him I'm in Port Vila Road.
Is that close to you, is it?
No, it's East London, Shoreditch. It's nice. Who does he support? He supports Newcastle.
Newcastle. He's a Newcastle fan. I mean, that's nice to know. That's actually wicked. That's good.
Is he a 49er fan? Is he a 49er fan?
Yeah, you call him the Cone Phony guys. Yeah. We're all Coneheads. Yeah, all Coneheads. Shout out to Grand Coneheads. The Coneheads. Let's go now, guys. So what's your thoughts on Gareth Southgate as a manager for England?
I mean, this is going to be really controversial. I personally really feel that, because I told you I went to George's Park the other day. I went there because my son was playing football. You know, he played football there in a tournament. I had to go stay at St. George's Park. St. George's Park is like a mental institution. You can't get out. It's like in the middle of nowhere. Sheep. You drive down there. Once they're there, they're there. So they created this whole place where they are. And I think, I don't know. It'd be nice to know, I mean, I have, been listening to lots of 49ers. I obviously got into the Grant a lot and stuff like that. I don't know if there's an equivalent of a manager or a coach that will never take that. It might be our guy, He could be the guy that can't go over that. Kyle might be that guy. He'll get you there, but he won't bloody win it.
He won't win it. Yeah. That's
the
it.
Other man, unless if it's a shit manager. Do you know what I mean? If anyone's a half decent manager, he'll outmanage you. So I feel like our team in general, England, is a very, very good team.
Spoiled for riches to pick from.
The key thing is the squad. The bench is really strong. But I think when it comes to the final, when it comes to that last hurdle, he can't manage. He'll get outmanaged. He won't make the I mean, he does everything wrong in that situation. I don't think the FA ever care about this. I think all they ever want is I think being a good spokesman, being politically correct,
looking sharp.
All that is more important, because I think we've never had I mean, all of the people that we have, we need a manager who could really make. I mean, going back to your first thing with Vardy, he should put Vardy on in that first. He didn't do that, and he should have changed the team around. He didn't do that, and he got out managed. And I think if he leaves, I know who the next English manager is going to be. I predict that. I'm willing to put my life on it.
Who do you want?
No, I don't want. Who I want is someone different. I would want.
Who are you predicting? Who are you predicting for the England manager?
The guy from Brighton, Poulter. He's just like Southgate. He's going to be the next Southgate. Politically correct. Apparently, he can speak 5 different languages. That's exactly what they want as an England manager. I mean, he'd be just like Southgate. He'd be beautiful.
Who do you want as the next England manager?
I would want either one of the top Premiership managers, but they wouldn't do it. I would ideally would want, but Klopp. I'd want Klopp. I would anybody. But I tell you who I would have. If I was in the FA and whatever, I would have Steven Gerrard as the manager.
I don't think Steven Gerrard's going to leave Rangers at the moment. I think where he is at the moment, he's happy. He won the league last season, first time Rangers won it.
Who have we got? Listen, Gavin, who have we got who's bloody English, who can manage England, who's actually English?
Yeah, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket on Steven Gerrard because he won the Scottish League. Do you mean, come on, winning the Scottish League is like winning like Division 1.
Do you know what? I don't think you have to be a great manager to manage England because they've already coached. It's not like in
you counter that argument for Southgate. You can see he doesn't have to be a great manager.
I think to me, I think there's a time that if you're a prestigious player and you've done really well. I mean, you did it with Ryan Giggs, got your manager. I know that he had his problems, but he was an amazing player.
I didn't want Ryan Giggs. I was against Ryan Giggs. Like, I mean, he never played for the country.
He
was more. He was club over country. He was right. Yeah, and I never rated him. Do you mean as a person? Plus all his side.
Don't you think, right? If it's coming to the end of it, right? If you're in a final and you've got a guy, who would you rather have representing you with aura? Would you rather have Steven Gerrard, or would you rather have Southgate in that moment, who could actually go, "Come on"?
You know you're going to get a passion. You're going to get a fire from Gerrard, Steven Gerrard.
I think he will. I think the respect that he would have, just because he was a really good player. I don't think. See, I don't think Southgate was really that good as a player. I mean, he was all right.
No, he was all right.
He was nothing, he wasn't special, was he?
Played for Villa.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Villa.
He wasn't even a good manager. I mean, he didn't.
But then, so Chris brings up a good point. But what about Lampard?
I would love Lampard, but he's in the dogs, isn't he? He's got to manage somebody.
Yeah. But
I mean, the people now. There's very few people. First of all, because you know this, right? Because of Sven-Göran Eriksson, right? We messed that up, and also we had that Italian guy. What was he called? What's he called? Fabio Capello, right?
Capello, yeah.
So we've had the foreign thing, right? And I mean, Sven-Göran Eriksson was funny. At least it was entertaining. When he was, he was like shagging people. It's like, he was actually quite interesting. I mean, Fabio Capello really fucked up. So then they said, literally, okay, we're not going to have a foreign manager. They've said that, haven't they? As much. Yeah. So then if you look at the English managers now, it is Sim bloody Pickings. Who is there? Who is there?
Well, that's because the EPL have got all foreign managers. Yeah, I get it. If you want a good English manager, you're looking at the Championship and below.
Okay, Brendan Rodgers, right? I know he did not so good at Liverpool, but he's not even. He's what, Northern Ireland, isn't he, or something? Whatever he is, I know. But he's not English.
Yeah,
right?
He's British. But
we've got nobody, and I tell you what, that Frank Lampard is exactly what we need to be doing. And even Rooney is really struggling with that derby. Yeah. He's got himself a crazy job. I mean, that's an amazing job. That's like being an NFL team going to the worst team and having to keep
it's like going to the Jets.
But being a legend, you question, why is he at the derby? You know, why is he at the derby, and how? And then the other guy who is pretty good is Scott Parker might do it. He's actually not a bad manager, but
Scotty Parker, the Fulham manager, yes. He's a bad player.
He's a proper manager, but I don't think the FA would hire him. He's too his own person.
It'd probably be Gerrard, like you said, like Rooney, Gerrard, or Lampard. It'd probably be one of those three.
From Brighton, it'd be Poulter from Brighton. I predict.
Poulter, yeah. I think I'd rather have Poulter than over Gerrard, Lampard.
No, because they want him to bloody do the bloody press conferences in 4 different languages. That's what it comes to. I promise you.
He's not a bad manager. He's proven in the Premiership as well. He's kept Brighton up. Do you mean?
Yeah, but he's very similar to Southgate. I mean, I don't know.
Right. We got a question by you, Chris, again. Right, Darryl, do you rate Jude Bellingham to start for England?
Yeah, 100%. 100%, and he will. I mean, he will.
Player, is he?
No, he's a junior that's in Germany, and he's a really good player. I mean, he's excellent.
No, I know what you're on about now. Yeah, I know.
And he came from Birmingham. And I think I don't know because I'm not googling that. I think he played like a ridiculous age. It could have been 15. His first match, he would know. 15, 16. I'm not googling it now, but I mean, he's out. He's the future of doing it, but that's it.
Yeah, but so we've been live now for like nearly an hour and 10 minutes, right? I'm gonna call the show right. Yeah, I think we've touched on everything, really, haven't we? Like, do you mean? Yeah, I'll definitely have you back on, no, Darryl, without a doubt. Like, we're definitely doing this again.
I mean, can I just say one big thing? I just want to give a shout out, right? And first of all, I want to get a shout out to. I mean, I'm starting to get some followers for 49er fans. There's a guy called Crypto Ryan. You know him?
Ryan, here we go. Yeah, he's just asking for your Twitter. I was going to leave that till last. This is what I was going to say to you. Plug yourself up.
There's another guy called Trey in the Bay, and he actually supports QPR as well. And there's obviously Eric, which is the Bay Area. Yeah. And I also have to thank Grant for getting all these people together and what he's done, and also entertaining people, because that was good entertainment. But I just want to do some special shout out to people. I mean, this is a great record, right? I want to have a special.
Let me put you on a big screen.
All right, this is it. Lee Scratch Perry, and he's dead, and he was such a legend. Was Lee Scratch Perry? I'm just going to put some little albums to leave you with, because my actual thing is music, not the. This is the first Jane's Addiction album. It's pretty rare. That's good. I'm going to show you some. This is a great album, Funkadelic. This is my favorite Funkadelic album. That's good. There's a guy who There's a blues guy who's on Eric's show. Mississippi John Hurt, really good as well. That's a beautiful thing if you want to play. This is a great band I used to hang out with and follow, was the Cramps. That's how far back I go. And this is a great debut album, Violent Femmes, really good. This is a real rare Public Enemy. That's good, going in a different genre. And this is for you, the Stone Roses. That's for you, mate. That's for Gavin.
Mate, as soon as I see that Stone Roses, I had to come back in. Yes, twisting my melon, man.
It's my guitar. I love my guitar.
Yeah, oh, look at that, bro. Nice. Yeah, so right, plug yourself now, in. What's your Twitter? What's your Twitter and your YouTube channel? Plug it.
Well, I'm Darryl at I think I'm Darryl Alexander Alien Jazz Party on Twitter. And I don't want to plug my YouTube channel because it's not when it gets good, I'll plug it, but it's mainly bands and people. playing football and my family and stuff like that. But basically, if you Google Alien Jazz Party, you have a lot of stuff of what I do, and then you'll hear my music. I got music on, not that one on Spotify and everything. I got
SoundCloud. You on SoundCloud?
Yeah, I'm on SoundCloud.
What's the SoundCloud link?
Well, it was good a couple of years ago. I mean, I got maybe 800.
Just what's the link for you? Tell me the link. So I'll check it out myself.
If you want me, if you Google like Alien Jazz Party, you get images.
Right.
I mean, you'll get everything that comes down.
Right. If you like, I've got a SoundCloud. I've got a SoundCloud because I used to do a bit of DJing back in the day. I haven't touched on this myself. I'm doing on YouTube, much checking it. But I was a little bit of a name. I wasn't anybody big. I was a room 2 DJ, but I played with some big DJs. Do you mean? And I played in the same room as some big DJs as well. And my SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/upright666 upright. So that's the direction up, so and if no left, it's right.
I mean, basically, if you hit Alien Jazz Party, you'll get to my SoundCloud. If you follow me on anything, I'll just follow you back, and that's what I would do. And then when I get enough people together or whatever, then I know what I can do, because I've got some ideas. And I think first of all, say thanks for Shardell, because it's a Shardell station, isn't it?
Oh yeah, shout out Shardell, like, innit? I mean, yeah, what you've done now, right? Yeah, what you started by is the start of something, with your Shardell.
Yeah, and
this is just small beginning.
And I just want to say that I've also promoted many bands, I've managed bands, and I've been and I can see how some of this what you guys are doing, if it was, you could get promoted better, branded better, whole thing better, it could be a nice little underground community. And that's where that's where good
supporting each other. Yeah, it's all about supporting each other, and the more we support each other, the bigger we're all going to get.
And the venue is YouTube.
You got it, bro. You got it, like, innit? Yeah. I mean, so Ryan Belial has said, bro, Daryl has a great collection. Violent Femmes is one of my favorite of all time.
That's for the debut album. That's one of the best debut albums ever. That album. I don't think anyone's done a better debut album than that first album. And they're from Green Bay.
Oh, there you are. There we go. Look, there we go. All right, then. Like, but I think I'm going to cut the show here now. I am, guys. Daryl, you've been an absolute star. Like, thank you so much for doing this to me, bro.
Thanks a lot for having me, and it's great. And good luck to Liverpool.
I hope you win the championship and never get promoted. Right? I hope that happens for you. I do.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. Right. Right, then, I want to thank everybody in the chat as well, Jareen, for showing up. And I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much.
Take it easy, man.
Right. Bye, guys.
Pressure coming. Garoppolo hit as he throws. A wobbler down the sideline, and it's caught! Deebo Samuel with the catch and trying to turn on